Well, I was for Yamo Akaba, a friend me fear pokia, Vim lady. Said the entire war social media, education, TV, radio, so it's important to do beer. I was here Sunday education, not twaswa, kukusise, ubia be humrano. Said the bia cano. Say Bible cracker say, know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. But all the bam remua, humrano, and humrana when ya daho, nemrano any, was a mrano de said the cano. It's no respecter of persons, and fahon so we away, and answer we away, we is canoe of me, a choa. But ene say we are done in your bush any be a wa bruche, and now one cassa kunu wa bruche, we wa bruche, fiance be wa bruche, and now wa crowd huni pebi ho, and now ho, and now bush any and now you kunu or Ghana, and the discussion a yama pa or my yeshem kawa neko be a bemanity abruche so to Ghana or banity abruche so to Ghana, and more issues in ano, ya be address yama, o pesa file ma o yere. Person file ma fiance moko America the immigration lawyer beto no boacheche ni nyina mu ama e bia na okra wonim se obi bi a friend of fiance visa ene lawyer be cheche mama say ba wo be hu ni nyina na ye nua ba lawyer akua wo hene twene aboaje e wo AK poku law e law firm kese pa wa America na Virginia potem ho nyina unam ho a Ghana for ni ho agro pa ekra che say yade hye ba akope ya wakopi akonto mo so so wonya akwadwiro no so de nim ye no ebe boa ni nuanom Ghana for ono e na ojo ne enti lawyer yema wo akwaba na unuanom so je so eda wase se de bia unam social media me hu se o ye social media o info o ye education church unuanom memranim ade obi entu ya law school fees so ye was ya no do be che Ghana for ye da se na ojo ne
Thank you, Ifya. Thank you for having me.
And so I am starting here share because I make an almost Ghana fear BM no at least nipa ba ko abroche. Ah, wa wonim Ghana for so ba ko kura ko pie mu abroche o be hwe ase odi obi be ba be kan. Odi obi be ba. Enti yen hwe sa immigration ho emra no generally say ka say immigration law ana say nkratasema wo be kira say wo na wa ko ho school.
Okay, nti yeka say immigration law well nyakupo boni pa say ye won 9 mienu that people are not trees yentimi ntena baby faako all the days of our lives. I see it to me it one sometimes according to me be mu because of a be wo ho ebusuasem obi pese onya ejuma ana for many reasons and comfort to me etu kwan efi baby a ye wo tete omo nti no say e wo say wo Krofufo so to say America ba America so nya ekwan ya obenya nkrata obetumi dia ye adwuma na obetumi so atena fia police ni bia ambe chase you na chese wo be a friend authorization to be in the US because untimi ko bi man so unni ho permission nti kro bia wo emra ebe ma wo ho kwan say asimesi ya wo ne wa ha na so wonfi ha but ya ma no kwan say on tena ha.
Okay. But so no eka omo a ebia o kwakosra obi omo kwa je visit obi temporary ni nyina eka sa immigration law no regulate no.
Absolutely ni nyina aka ho enti no for US purposes no your friend of B1 B2 visa na visitors visa enti no na just say call US embassy e wo Accra ye wo one embassy pe wo Accra but bibi to say Nigeria ye wo embassies mienu wo Lagos US embassy wo Lagos na US embassy wo Abuja but Ghana ye wo ba ko pe enti say wo call Accra de no na wo ko bisa o mo say wo pese wo ba na normally B1 B2 visa no be ma 5 years visa but adeba kwa wo ho ne say nkofo dwen say 5 years so na chese metimi abetena ha 5 years there be 5 year multiple entry each time so tena for 6 months na uko into I-90 bibi e fa na I-94 eno na be kire o you know amount of time. Exactly. Obi normally the maximum time on the bar is 6 months, but obi wo na wo ba no mo suspect say be a onyima na say obi am shall be ejuma na bibi on betimi cram out 3 months and 3 weeks. We do port of entry airport hall we say obi rabbi friend customs some baby say bisa questions that time number chiro emre dodo eseltena but each time it does not exceed 6 months but it can be less.
Okay. Enti wonya o visa no kra wie no ube do US immigration wa omukra betimi aka say although ukuta 5 years but name maximum 1 month and 6
absolutely
weeks.
no more crap power
No automatic pass ukuta 5 years and multiple entry to me here the ope.
But there be and normally in so no ye ma so call customs are ye free be inspection and admission until you everybody who ye foreign and now right US you have to be inspected and admitted. Now emre bebre no for to say to no na for borrow for passports at the buy.
Yes.
Who borrow
obi passport to shemo said then no more to obi there no more dey show obi there mu.
And even no but that time they supposed to be nyante that time to dey be
yes tiptoe me papa na oka yes tiptoe lane e wa akra na nkofo ye mu to shemu ti obi there na ye two picture na ye dey shame now dey to kwan.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Actually, yes, Matisse almost borrow. Some come on rented passports, and also so no, you're still inspection and admission. But you won't phobia. You're from EWI. We entry without inspection. Almost no to me far port of to say Mexico border. Some of no ubana if you're not inspected and admitted. Upe say nya green card and ankata ding. It's normally say inspection and admission and no never ma quite to adjust your status from a non-immigrant to an immigrant. It will be B2 visa. Normal inspecting, normal admitted. And money easy. So bet me a movie or status from obi away visitor to obi away green card holder and a lawful permanent resident for US.
Okay. In the council packets obi awa fa be a desert so anu akwa kopie o Haiti baby. No ana Mexico baby no ruru mu no abepia America no enye easy so obenya green card.
There be enye easy. Well, bet me nya through be friend asylum and I say bia one exception through VAWA and no abuse type of green card into ukofa desert mu na ubana you were not inspected and admitted. Na ukoshia American iba now nene worry not abusive in the marriage ubet me adjust status from non-immigrant and I say undocumented to a green card holder you don't go back to your country if you are not inspected and admitted quite baby so normally so call back to your country now from the US embassy no file out the bar now call back and so now bar no is triggered until if you've overstayed for more than 180 days less than 1 year a 3-year permanent a 3-year bar if you overstayed in the US for more than 1 year then it's a 10-year bar. So
overstay or visa, you be banned for 10 years.
Yes.
To my US
if you overstay for more than 1 year, now you accrue a lawful presence for more than 1 year. Near you be banned. It's normally you overstay. You ain't na focus men tena hasa because ufi happy. There's a bar.
No.
Exactly. Nya kwan say obesa amba biom. It's who overstay normally focus tena hana share we are obetimi adjust it.
Your own crata, okay. But what can B1, B2? I know your visitors visa. It's me other visitors visitors never on because what can back be K9 or say a fiancé visa be kind of
okay. As for visa types, they are baby. There are just so many types of visas. Now, but in fact, I believe send me posted link in the crowd my. Oh, I actually I did a blog post on it on my website. And so let me pull that up. There's just so many types of visas. Now, depending on idea or baby, US ha and a better type of visa SSA or file it for. It's exactly B1, B2 near the most common because I know they just say you have residence in the US. I'm sorry, in your home country that you do not intend to abandon. Like fear chroma. I've been saying about US akawaha. But for just a short time. It's for example, to say K1 near okay. Technically, it's known as a non-immigrant. So there's a difference between a non-immigrant and an immigrant type. Non-immigrant nature say, but for a short time, maybe but for graduation, funeral, wedding, but
to me give visa for a year funeral and a wedding.
Yes, to me visa for all those things. In fact, Nancy no cranny they're expediting so but for funeral to say current processing times could B1 B2 visa wakra wait time about 3 years. But the call funeral, they can expedite the B1 visa application for you if it's based on say immediate family relative into mommy or papa or grandfather or brother. Some kofuni be betimi ama
a year visa. Very interesting. A year visa.
But
And a wedding visa. And a graduation visa.
Yes,
Under B1, B2.
exactly. And
Okay.
under B1, B2. They're sort of like tourism, sort of family related reasons for coming to the US.
I know what be many pass American embassy betting yama will be visa for a year, wedding, any graduation. Me be crowd.
Oh yeah, mapa, absolutely. Because
the here says any pano ye who nipa or bear so mammy or papa. Oh nana.
In fact, to be honest, who call graduation and a funeral cry, it can be anybody. However, so expedite funeral. So if you're going for a visa because of a funeral, now person expedite because if your date of funeral in 3 months, your immediate family relative, I'm be expedite but a graduation there, but me cry obi our cousin be cry, but it be only no some sort of relationship. It's all about credibility. So because nipa no interview no see nipa, what you're saying as I say, it has to make sense to the person. It's even if nipa name Ben we be a na binti. Oh, that was my best friend. You one nursery, and she went through a lot. She's now having her graduation. I supported her in some way. Who will prove it's me person because celebrating, something like that. Of course, they would to the amount if you are able to satisfy the 3 other grounds of a B2 visa. It all depends on the story. We bet me the
in that case, so for instance, to say a year visa dear or cast a band at B1, B2, and no sano. It was all the death certificate bar now because
yes,
I was all the obituary bar now saying then on beach.
Absolutely. So the evidence is any credible evidence. I did be aware to me actually be any objective reasonable person saying ya wo can yampa. It is shoe cry now and it will prove what session so be a that's fine. So yes, some of the recommended evidence here, if you obituary, that's fine, or death certificate, and now social media post, even a social media post, even whatever now will be able to me actually say ampa obi many panning question say nipa boa na say ampa no obeti me dia call actually say nipa ne wu it will go for funeral. And in addition to that, normally so documentation of acclaimed relationship. It's also where's your birth certificate proving that nipa no would obituary dino matches with birth certificate as your mother, so just any evidence that can make obi aje asema o kanedi.
That's very interesting. Now can I bro how many that it's omunim. It's to me koka say bia me classmate ni na bia yebusa ne date of birth kwa unnim a date of birth. Omo be check isa na no enya. But I feel na mate ase de nti a obi woni ye obituary a ebinum to me bo atwede just to get their name on the obituary. One funny ni amba poster no so it me asem. You betimi your corrections. I feel na mate ase
because in fact, Krano, even a hanom about our when people get married, even obituary to me, admissible evidence. Ultimately, I had a client call me a few weeks ago. Now, nipa no, the person she was married to was a US citizen, and nipa ni hu ye. Na nipa ni hu ye no, almost file papers no. She had to submit obituary to show that she was listed as the man's wife. In fact, when it even comes to property and beja in terms of estate, almost distributed, evidence, obituary is very important. Say, the person didn't was to necessarily was because assuming you never know.
Exactly. Until one funny dia must be a widow and a widower. No, chna. Ye koye bibi ne yesi enya wo yere den na wo afi one funny serious ye de kofa obituary na udin so.
Exactly.
Afi na Matthias. Afi ye nko wedding ne de no so no so e was say wo prove say bia wo call ba wedding. Oba wo ye kotu ne din. Minim say outdoor ka ho a obetimi age visa for outdoor.
To be honest, you see that normally B1 B2 visa no. Quite a broad category. Bibi a wo kwakoya entiamrano. So for example, koya outdooring it's fine. It's a good reason for a B1 B2. You're for a primary purpose test. The primary purpose for which kwako visa no has to be within tourism, family related niema. But bibi to say call US akọ sana ubenya US citizenship no. It's explicitly forbidden by immigration law. So won't mean yes, sir, because no sana birth tourism, which is not allowed by the law. It's by US crown now when you're allowed to come, but not because by the US citizenship but as the primary purpose of your visit. It's of course outdooring is fine. Just any reason that is not excluded by law.
Okay. Lawyer, remember ya back to our area to say our client need no nipa na ware or Ghana. Be maneti abrocha na oba neti abrocha or Ghana or file man. Ba yenko K1 visa na o kan so obi fiancé. Abroche de mo ti America o mo fa na fiancé no. Yen Ghana yen nim ne sa. Ghana de o se o busuafo ni we be ye ye ho ade o ye yire onya fiancé.
Yeah.
Ube de no waje sa fiancé visa no. And conditions the same.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. It's, for fiancé visa, no, almost conditions. So the first condition is say, fiancé has to be a US citizen. Or your green card holder, I won't make fiancé if you Ghana, but it's only for US citizens. It's number one, if you're a US citizen, now fiancé or abroad, that's when you can file a K1. Or fiancé or US has to swear, you cannot file it. The fiancé has to be based abroad. That's the first thing. Secondly, I was saying within the last 2 years, at least once, you should have met in person. It's before more share our Facebook, so then suddenly they're like, oh, fiancé, you'll be denied because you have to submit a sort of evidence. Just say feely in person within the last 2 years. Then the third thing is that both of you are saying more freedom to legally marry. It's not just say, ebia bako awari jaye say awari jaye no oyeni there's no impediment in terms of the divorce wasn't properly done, and that's only proper divorce decree. Into both of you have to be legally free to marry. And no. So with the K1 is also no. You're right. There's a distinction in there's some sort of conflict between any Ghana and no. So what happens is that, of course, I had the say your friend fiancé just say you're looking to get married to each other. Ghana also there. Your traditional engagement it's a full and valid marriage. According to Ghanaian law, there are 3 types of marriages. The first one is the ordinance, marriage by ordinance. Secondly, we have the Islamic type of marriage, and thirdly, we have the traditional marriage. It is traditional marriage now, your kind of engagement, now your full and final marriage, you're valid according to Ghanaian laws. And according to the Immigration and Nationality Act of the US, which is the law that adjudicates immigration laws throughout the United States, marriage can be recognized in the US so far as it was valid in the jurisdiction where it occurred.
Oh, sir.
Yes. For example, they allow homosexuals to get married. Now, you're valid in that country. So far as by US, it's recognized.
Oh, okay.
Ghanaian engagement is fully recognized.
Marriage.
Customary law marriage. So far as the customs of the ethnic tribe the couples belong to were followed. So procedures, so whatever. If your family heads, so far as the customary laws of the tribal parties to which the couple belonged to were followed, it's a full and final marriage. Okay. Let me tell you, in fact, me Ghana end of March. Now one of my consultations, I met a Ghanaian man. Office. He came to see me. No buy no catch him. He said, "Ne yere ewo US ha." Na the traditional marriage or Ghana, engagement or Ghana, the snaps, the sika. It was a marriage, a customary marriage. And and then they had ne yere Adam to be US or so a professor one of the states. Now catch him so on our file immigration applications. A man ipa bear 30 into bet my ya mom and okay on your mom. Into almost started your K1 no. When they did the first part of the K1, apparently it was refused because there were some issues. The name, name issues. The name they used on the form, no.
And yes, sir, they want the passport.
Absolutely. Or you see, there was a description. Or you see back, or you see in the FIA, and the document so had his, his official name. Until that was denied, they had to do everything again. And then Omoba Ghana, and then once so the K1 fiancé, it's a 2-part process. Your first part of the process was US. It will send the evidence of Sanya Manameka, no say, we share within last 2 years. K1 year, petitioner, no, a US citizen, and you know that both of you are free to marry.
It's the American no best started paperwork, no.
Absolutely. Or best send it to USCIS, a federal agency. It processes our applications. No, it's you know, the first part of the process is number one, establishing the immigration status of K1 petitioner, no say me a US citizen. And then secondly, establishing the relationship between the petitioner and the beneficiary. Beneficiary ni any application ebe benefiting on the application no right? 81 that is approved. No mo dia no tuma no ma forward the application to BBF NVC National Visa Center. National Visa Center no and ebe ma access to US Embassy portal, CAC portal, obe tua fees, obe police certificates, medicals, whatever. Obe fill forms, obe tua fees and all that. We are not mask. They will say interview or US Embassy.
Oh, okay. And we had the fiancé now or Ghana no never interview no US Embassy no.
Yes, absolutely. The fiancé in Ghana will go to the US Embassy in Ghana based on the approved K1 petition. USCIS ne wahano forward NVC. So yeah, that's how the process is. And you know, almost friend to say I make a guy, you almost friend for the interview at US Embassy. They had been waiting for about also 2019, so about 3 years. Oko do you know say officer ni bisa okay, you know, is that the woman is your fiancé? And I'll say my fiancé, and I'll say okay, what shows and all the pictures or the engagement somewhere no snap sika or explain it be no officer no brony or bonitinko. And then when he was done, he was refused under section 221G of the INA, administrative processing. It's your buyer, he didn't understand when I told him that you are refused because your whole application here are done in null and void. Because if you have a K1 fiancé petition, you cannot get married. Insofar as also why your engagement, it's a fully recognized marriage according to the jurisdiction in which it occurred. It's your whole petition has been revoked. It's not just absolutely. It's officer no say man it's almost be review. All they are going to do is come back to him and tell him that he's married to her until they should go back and file a spousal based green card. So that's the difference. Even the consulate officers, the adjudicating officers with US embassies, they say they know the laws in Ghana. And remember that all these people are more these local US embassies, they understand the local conditions, the laws of US officer and a consular officer over Kenya. Or Kenya, because that will allow him to adjudicate fairly these applications. Almost engagement, and while the guy knows that you don't qualify, it's your bed denial, so that's the difference. Even though I tell people don't be misled, even though Ghana ever has an engagement, a marriage. If done a traditional engagement, do not file the K1 fiancé. Who file the K1 fiancé so don't do a traditional engagement because it's a marriage.
Okay. Ghana law more qualify to a fiancé. Because Ghana now engagement absolutely. Ghana so traditionally and then guess I be legal no I call one niece so nice. Oh, will you marry me? And you in Ghana law qualify to your fiancé.
Okay, it's a Ghana law, Ghana Mranduma, you free be tirinsa. It's knocking. It's to say knocking. It's the preparatory stage before you get to the engagement stage. It's that's what we know. For example, Obema Nebusuya, I call Boko be at 6 a.m. Now I call, say, oh, me who a flower be, I want to pluck it in your house, or all those things. That qualifies to be say depending your fiancé. And I pose a mood date. Just you hang out, whatever, pictures, social media, text messages. You see, what I tell people is that OBR relationship are different. It doesn't follow one straight rule. Say, oh, my fiancé say be A and B. It can be anything. People who are long distance relationship, fine, with whom one or twice, but you have your own way of dating. It's, you know, however way I would dating, you just prove that many as we're in a relationship and we have the intention of getting married 90 days, maybe do USR.
Okay. And the whole can back could be an also trigger imagine and I very interesting to what can coco no dear no. Ti coco no Emma obey fiancé. Ti men koye if you are then found coin embassy also apply for K1 visa. Onye fiancé or no if you are any full blown away. And it's very interesting, says say abrofono crab recognizing yen traditional marriage. Because first no one yen fee and just a why ordinance answer. So it's very interesting. But when me go back to long distance, because okay say fiancé visa no, K1 visa no, so betimi aye bia ma obi from US to Ghana. As I say, uni nipa na shia. But ene unim say ne, kofu ti social media no mo ya I love you ne ade.
Okay.
People are in relationship on social Skype relationship. Any ade, omo phone sex ne ade nyina. So I was say nipa no chinchine a. I was say ochre consular ne say waba Ghana abeshia oba na onipa kono to aba abeshia no. How does that work?
Absolutely. You know, there's always if you are always law, you know this. There's always an exception. You know, the general rule is that you should have at least once within the last 2 years. However, if you are able to demonstrate, say, because of unusual hardship, within the last 2 years, they will allow you to go ahead with it. But to prove that, you know, and yet that easy. Normally it's better say ube shiani pano at least once within the last 2 years. But yes, there's an exception. There's an exception that you have to prove. That it's always a more heightened burden. You don't want that. You just want to, because it's even COVID times in the crown. People were still traveling.
Exactly. But must you prove say be only ni panadas
yeah. But the most recent K1 fiancé we filed, we actually filed for a Ukrainian national Nikunu Wahana because of the Ukraine war. No fiancé man. It was a very beautiful story. They have in fact text messaging between the couple, amazing. Like it spans from 2019, like how the love evolved. Yeah, printing, you know, just everything about the relationship was just amazing. Because Utimu said there was genuineness. It doesn't mean it's all chess only panada and sana omubemao. There became one.
I know you're very interesting. Let's just say I was saying ideally, so be apply for visa. So we need lawyer. Immigration lawyer say now what training because any okay mistakes in kitty bebre o Ghana for bebre ya you deny omo visa but omo nimunti na omo yes a mistake no.
Absolutely.
So obi tita wo na what share omo anka they wouldn't make that mistake.
Absolutely. Exactly, because to say na make no sometimes obi be file from and as I say so backlog ne insane. Obi file ma okunu 3 years kra na won't you're waiting. Imagine a bit to me file 3 years, 4 years, or maybe 4 years or now. I do my it is an our exam. Time and I swear you know say a my mistake me. I didn't and so when you start afresh. I mean, there's a big problem and people have wasted their time, their money. I mean, even apart from time and money, no. Any marriage is not easy. To being separated for that period of time, as I started doing some better in 3-4 years, almost a decade of your life. I tell people, look, so I deal with men in Diago because a lot of the times, Obi will hold to me lucky. Obe file or no obe file go through, but be brain na almost US immigration laws are seen ya na bibi kitwe bibi to me ama wo ebe meso up big time.
Until I FK1 so near the other common ones are. And also, other common visas apart from B1, B2, and K1.
Marriage based visa, no, you know, say waware, you know,
I don't even know how people are able to manage because every now can number 4-5 years no ban it.
And yeah, easy. They cry all the look, frustration it does. They almost frail, almost soon, never be brave. It causes a toll. Just say, and you know, for example, with a marriage-based visa, when it comes to you can be a US citizen, you can be a green card holder. We a green card holder, obetimi afale ama okunu and our yere. We a US citizen, obetimi afale ama okunu and our yere. We a US citizen now file ma okunu and our yere. You file under the friend immediate relative category. Immediate relative category. So immigration, no, almost when it comes to immigrant type of visas, almost two types: immediate relative category and a preference immigrant category. Me catch go say the nipo mo buy US no almost nipo amount of space I had to accept everybody. Okay. A lot of people want to come and live the American dream. You know, the US Department of State almost regulated. So what the economists will say, the demand is more than the supply.
The supply,
right? You know, the US Department of State no more quota for green cards. It's every year no more number of visas that they allocate for each category.
Oh, I see.
If you are a US citizen filing for an immediate relative, no quota, there's no wait time. A visa is always available. So I'm
okay.
Almost some my US. Oh, you're a US citizen. Now you're a US citizen for priority, US government priority. And he said, if you're filing for
Ghana, Ghana, I don't know the priority we get.
Right? Oh, yeah, US citizen. Now we'll file for 3 way. Yeah. They hold them like eggs. Into US citizen filing for Uknu and our year for papa now, mommy, and for your child, Oba already less than 21 and married.
Oh, okay.
Those people are under the immediate relative category. No visa wait time. Immediately, USCIS almost approve the first part of the application. It's forwarded to the NVC, and then they schedule you for an interview once you're documentarily qualified. But about preference immigrant category, and no, you have to look on your, your receipt notice. It's all should be a kind of priority days. Now, should say a visa is available for category now or now. And for example, you're a US citizen petitioner. Now we'll file or you're a US citizen who is more than 21, a F1, a preference immigrant. Green card holder filing for Nigeria Nani Kunu and under 21, F2A category, preference immigrant. You have to wait for a visa to be available. F2B.
Yeah, you have to. It's
under the preference immigrant category, no. It's your friend is a green card holder. Now we'll file Maukunu and now we'll back under 21 F2B. They'll tell you that okay, we'll category no beneficiary in the category near F2B. F2B in a so check your priority date every month. US Department of State releases a friend of visa bulletin. It's about category F2B. No one check current dates, where they are processing, because applications here hundreds of thousands. It's almost so they try to arrange them in quotas and in to say they process by monthly on a monthly basis. And to check a visa bulletin to check if your priority date is current. If it's current, it means a visa is available for your case and your category. And to start getting ready, no one processing. But we are immediate relative, not just we are US citizen, spouse, parent, minor child. You don't wait for a quota. A visa is always available. To approve you higher for Ghana, they will start processing. You do not wait. If you have F4 category, we are US citizen sibling. It's a US citizen, we between take about 13 years, 14 years for your priority date to become current.
Wow.
Yeah.
US citizen now filing my bet me take about 13 years.
Yes, 13, 15 years roughly. F3 category US citizen, married child of a US citizen, and also so waste time, and also so wakakra. It's all these things. So it's just to regulate nipo momo back into the US on green, with a green card to make sure that at each point in time, the resources in the US are enough to sustain the number of people here. Yes, I remember be a problem.
But say a US citizen no file a man ne ba or less than 21
and parent.
Average time wait a waiting period near saying.
Yeah, in fact, to be honest, they say because of backlog now, men also so our because in 2019, immigrants visas are not normal processing were just about I think 20,000 applications. As at 2020,
the whole Ghana and accessing.
No, the whole NVC. BBR goes to BBR goes to NVC, National Visa Center. No. Currently, almost they are at 500,000 applications.
Wow.
500,000, 500,000 pending. It's to say there's a lot of backlog. It's roughly first part of the application. Now, so let me also say this. So we a US citizen. Now we file ma obi. If I saw mommy and now papa, now US high. If no adjustment of status and no process near easier because you file everything at once. It's a one-step process.
Okay.
But ukununi wa Ghana a two-step process. It takes a little bit longer. Because we are forwarded to NBC before NBC forwards. It's roughly maybe 3 years because of the backlog. Maybe 3 years. It's very hard to tell because it depends on actual workload any staff, how many people they're able to, how many people at NBC almost endorse working on the cases. So
and you're broken heart because now I check that not backlog another 3 years. When am I be more no actually now another problem altogether. Unless we are there, so don't say don't tell us because
yeah, it's very difficult, causing a lot of issues for people.
So say I know as immigration law we immigration crata man for Ghana and US. So be a year Ghana and Nani kuna Ghana and ba Ghana. What will be your advice to them? Maybe our application that are now fail no be what will be your advice? On so no maybe 3 years later, I know I try almost clear backlog now after them.
Yeah. So what I tell them is that Preparatory filing is a train.
Okay.
The longer you wait, the longer the wait because a first in, first out basis. Once I can be a priority date. Send our application to US immigration be our priority date. Your priority date is your place in the queue in the US immigration process. And if you have a filing application and now near the priority date, if they receive it, will be 5/12/2022.
Okay.
Priority date, you can say 10/10/2021. Or maybe
okay.
It's the longer you wait, would you not quit tree? It will place in the queue and they said, Nipa 300,000 a do anymore. Because every day there are hundreds of thousands of applications being filed. It will try next week, between and then the next week, Now it be 15,000 I bet you him. So it's better to file as early as possible. You don't wait for the backlog to clear because it's a first come first serve.
Okay, no, are there other visas? I know so very common to Ghana for a while, Bruce. Ghana nana. Apart from B1, B2 visas, no one some, and K1 visas, F2B, and F3 visas, no one some. I know for US citizens or more file more mammy or more papa. And now below 21.
You sort of like immigrant visa, but just different categories. Since we have let me see. So many. I have the list here also.
But me person me check there am for Ghana for a common to Ghana for.
To be honest, now common to Ghana B1 B2.
Okay.
B1 B2 F1 for students, F1 type of visa, the Aopa school, and then that's it. Because
F1 no more bus school, and no, what is the condition? Say school ni visa, I don't know the bar. Or best konikro man, I say by force we are done obey school now so konikro.
Debbie, so unya visa depending on the duration of your stay on the mao, visa to match that into you be over 3 years. They'll give you authorization so better than half for 3 years to complete to study. So it will be OPT, optical training, practical training. I can't remember OPT, but it's very commonly known as the OPT. It's over here Juma Kakra in terms of the field of study. Then you have to leave the US unless when your employer be a sponsor one say one kasa wait to me worry now wait to me file next step and as will be I mean, we go from about F1 almost 10 years because OVS school no said me go back. Me apply for school. No, I apply PhD. No, I apply masters. Not just OVS school. Just to be able to give them the opportunity to continue to live until so bit to me adjusting the status. Your friend be change of status into from F1 no, wait me shifted to another type of visa, like for example, well, any other type of visa, but wait to be to adjustment of status. More normally, they know you're more common from F1 no, to become a green card holder, not just a non-immigrant to immigrant.
Okay. Now, wait to make change from B1 no to green card.
Oh yes,
I no adjustment no.
Yes.
Odi B1 B2 ne buy oh yeah visitor. Wait to make change to a green card.
Yes, absolutely.
How?
Yeah, it's Uber on a B1, B2.
Because minimum Ghana problem, we are must say I'm conference near the no my them.
Yep. Uber B1, B2 visa. Normally, again, you have a period of authorized stay won't maintain for more than 6 months. In fact, initially, no. Normal for be the 90-day rule. It's Uber US on a B1, B2 visa. Now within 90 days. In fact, it was the 30, 60, 90-day rule. But within 90 days, if what's the sound status from non-immigrant to immigrant, there was a presumption of fraud. Because who catch a US embassy, say, but for a short time, if they want to do we are what's the someone? There was a presumption of fraud that as I said, we rebutted through evidence. Said there be me bano. I had a non-immigrant intent. We be do ye assuming NMA Mississippi. But in fact, just last year, September 2021, that rule was changed. USCIS waived almost cancels that rule and said there's no longer that 90-day presumption of fraud. But they could still question you, say, then I will catch a custom say, but for 30 days visit. But what I tell people is that you normally cannot come on a B1, B2 visa. Say, I can say me call back bium. However, ube do her after 1 week, maybe also I keep to visit my friend. Now be do ye you guys fell in love suddenly. No, say look, me and Sam ma won't call. I want us to get married. Something, change circumstances. You didn't come with a one fat agent say would over be immigrant, but ube do her, that's fine, and ube to me as a sound status. But even then, no. With a B1, B2 visa, once you come here, you can adjust your status. So, share US citizen and our green card holder. Ube to me.
No, nipa no be adjusting the citizen. Fan say be B1, B2 no. Your man no 6 months. Obaye no in the 5th month. Ena oshia obi. Ena one no ehye ho. Aka 1 month pena ne visa na wu. And ebia 6 months man ebia a week to the end of the 6th month no. Ena oshia obi for 4 years so one ne betna. O visa no so wu and ebi kra ewu. O be dey no adjust status no.
Okay.
Legally.
Yeah. So according to the Immigration and Nationality Act, your free be bars to adjustment of status, right? Say if you are out of status, normally you cannot adjust your status. There are exceptions. But for immediate relatives, you ever say, if you're out of status, now you're the wife of a US citizen, you can adjust your status. And a parent of an immediate relative, they can adjust even if you've overstayed for 30 years, 100 years.
Okay.
So, Ubanaka 1 month sell by insofar as what filing a properly filed adjustment of status and it's pending, even if will be your period of authorized stay ends, you're still fine.
Okay.
So there's a difference between being out of status and accruing unlawful presence. If by the eighth month you would be out of status, but you do not start accruing unlawful presence. Unlawful presence is relevant when it comes to the bar, the 10-year, 3-year bar.
Oh, okay.
It's even though you'll be out of status, you are in your 10th month. So far as you have a properly filed adjustment of status application that you filed before your period of authorized stay ended, you're fine.
Okay.
You'll be out of status, but you don't start accruing unlawful presence. But when you stayed more than 6 months.
Now you start
accruing unlawful presence because you don't have a pending properly filed adjustment of status application.
Okay.
If you have a properly filed adjustment of status application, you are out of status, yes, but you don't start accruing. Even though you're out of status, almost send a decision, they say you deny you can leave. And then it's not a problem in terms of ban because
any problem because
you didn't accrue unlawful presence. But who accrue unlawful presence more than 180 days now, 3-year bar once you leave. Who accrue unlawful presence more than 1 year now, 10 years, but you need a clock ticking.
So
you have to know.
Lawyer, Ekuya Pacho, to win a church a honeymoon, because a Honagana will be interested. Say, Utsinemu now, Vista Nibu, now in Nemua 30 days, no, honeymoon.
So you can say, what about a B1, B2 visa? You have 6 months, or mama, you find some mama 6 months. CBP officer, no, Customs and Border Protection officer, and they say, what are you here for? So I'm here for a visit. I say, how long are you saying? I say, 30 days. I say, okay, but I'm not a stamp it. Authorized stay 6 months. It's open to her. You have 6 months. The clock starts ticking. Before the 6th month and now before the date on your I-94. So say you can pull up the I-94 CBP on the CBP website. Oh my, you know, since 2013, I think after the September 11th, you can pull up the digitized version. Before the period of your authorized stay ends, you have to leave. So when now that's when you start accruing unlawful presence.
So I will application be a just a person will change you.
Absolutely. You start accruing unlawful presence, and in fact, the period of authorized stay ends. Now still visa no crab 2025 as our visa no a woman no a revoked. Automatic revocation. It's a very fair, but next time they will tell you, I'm sorry, you've been blacklisted. You cannot. I get those calls all the time too.
Wow.
They'll blacklist you. Visa they will come to the US embassy and will cancel your visa.
Hey.
Because you didn't have a properly filed adjustment of status application pending. And another thing, no say.
Abra visa no crown woo you know.
Visa
no period now. Immigration.
Correct.
Mama
It's each time, no, what controls your period of authorized stay border, no. Airport, no, nipa no bekasa no. That thing no be stamping your passport now. So you can pull it up on the website to see exactly how long you've been given. I saw the Tina US have. And sometimes it's a be bad, they can file extensions. B1, B2, if it be extension, you can extend it. Now say, after 6 months, you can file an extension normally 45 days before your period of authorized stay extends. So your just says try to file it, but life happens. Sometimes you won't know 45 days until as soon as you find out that there's a circumstance beyond the period of authorized stay, file your extension with the I-539, I believe. To file an extension, they'll give you an additional 6 months, but also because of COVID. You go for filing 2 years, I won't see your monka because backlog in team. As much as
a very interesting part. I watch this one this education because baby on so 5 years visa, 1 year visa, a boom into another to me do pay. And your visa only determine how long Udu airport
I-94.
But who's a idea we mun say Udu airport or mama electronic slip be punchy be not like first now. No more the paper be shame okay. First no passport do border or more the paper be a shame and the paper indicates how I-94 period no. Now say omo digital how would the person know say in the period of stay this is how long the person has.
Okay, so normally no be call I-94 CBP website. Let me see if I can pull it up. CBP. Okay, why maybe so your name, your first name, your last name, and passport number, your date of birth, and then you will click on get most recent I-94.
Okay.
To click on that to tell you came in the last time you arrived in the US and you have until this date to leave. Normally that is what controls. And I also get some people what happens is if you want to me mistake on the paper passport say until this date. But to share I-94 now what system this no a shorter period. You should use that period on the system because
and your paper
passport because when you go back to the US embassy now South Africa visa they pull up those records on the system. Almost they don't have a copy of your passport. It's what rules is the Oko CBP website now. Google CBP I-94. I don't know why my internet is not coming, but you can get the most recent I-94. Okay, yeah, that's it. I-94.cbp .dhs.gov /I-94. It's you can pull up your most recent I-94 and never show. Even though what 5 years visa and it doesn't mean everything better have 1 year. No, you cannot.
Okay. Cause na me person I visa omo jibe ye adwuma temporary bi one man but I think no any common.
Yeah, and for media. Yeah, I believe say media I visa and in fact to be honest I visa no are okay. Interesting enough. yeah, attorney platform just 2 days ago. An attorney, why immigration about 12 years. She was just asking, say, oh, she just saw the Nadab would be coming to work in the media I-94. She had never heard of it. A lot of attorneys don't even know about it. But the reason I knew about this I-90, this I visa, and they say, some people actually called. They told me, say, journalists be office.
Yeah.
And
especially
then
more president need to coin near.
Yeah, so my sister was telling me, oh, some journalists called, I believe it was last month, they wanted the I visa, and that's when I also heard, so it's not something common at all. A lot of the visa types are not very well used, like because I know it applies to, so we don't really focus on some of those types of visas.
Also, mommy can't call worry anyway. When I have I hear a bit of conflict of laws. Oma worry or Ghana, Omo worry or US, but ebia. Papa ne file am obana na obana na wo US no file am abema no in the process of filing no ba ko awu the US no awu obana your wife and I obetimi aka so your wife because ye worry no US ya worry no Ghana ebia omo traditional marriage certificate omo koye AMA ni other district nti ye beba back to ye charge apade na but first of all obetimi aka say yes or ye yire.
Oh, certainly. So, over Kaya Mekache will say, according to the Immigration and Nationality Act, marriages that are recognized under immigration laws for US here, they have to be valid in the jurisdiction where they occurred. Into Krom Ghana, traditional marriage, recognized that, and the person is a wife. And say Nipani Wa, you have be widow petition. There's a widow petition. For example, US citizen. So the first part of a marriage-based green card, normally February I-130, file it and now it gets automatically converted into an I-360, which is a widow petition.
Okay.
So there's that automatic conversion, and normally you should let them know within 2 years. You try to do it within 2 years of Nipani death. If the person dies, now sound called worry for fraud. You don't get the benefit of say
why you worry first no you benefit
if you go and get married sound called worry and not just worry no say you've moved on. It's who file widow petition and so now will be behavior.
I thought I
worry.
Okay, the found quite this the other one na make can say ejapade na be che ne say ba patrol because of now saying same-sex marriages, same-sex relationship, LGBTQ, identity. Let me throw this question in. Say, Ghana no, they see a law no, but US same-sex marriages are allowed. It is a onipa no ne obi a ne girl wo Ghana, one no me no me same-sex for, but oba US no oba be register no on our certificate so oba register our so me couple. Now in the course any panel and Abigasia. The organ no is the person recognized as a husband or a wife, although we same sex for.
So the first question is, where did the marriage occur? You same sex marriage, or where did they occur?
US.
In the US,
because Ghana same sex is not allowed.
Yeah. Oh no, fully valid. And not the America for better with cheaper, only problem. If you got married here, same sex now Ghana now. Just or file approve and they don't have a problem with it.
Okay. And then say file asylum no. Say corner also be a gay na persecute or Ghana for tata easy say ubenya nkrata.
Well, I don't know about
politics and now say because mikromo chieftaincy dispute or him na ye tata me na bibisa.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. Before you see gay grounds in a pa, but file asylum now. We hear a lot of evidence. Sorry to me, story can be cookie fantastic story and expect an immigration judge. And normally, when you're on asylum, a defensive process into a adversarial. So you have the government attorneys on the other side challenging everything you are saying, putting your cross-examination, re-examine, direct examination. I mean, whatever.
Asylum, no, your friend cases.
Yes, your friend witnesses, and then of course, lawyers also examine. Then they cross-examine you. So a full-blown trial. And what happens is that if cookie up the stories, they crumble under the pressure because your story has to be consistent. so I get a lot of these people almost fabricating the guy. When you come to me and the story make cry, you cannot meet the scrutiny. I'll tell you, look, this is not good. I'm not going to take your money to file this frivolous, because asylum, it can take 5 years near there. Uber say we seek or only to go to realize that it's denied because we need proof. Into yes, if you are based on sex marriage, belonging to a minority group is part of the grounds of asylum.
Sir, minority group.
Yes.
Chrome and America.
Social group. Anywhere into Chrome, no Ghana for Ghana, no. If you say you're part of homosexuals, you're facing persecution. Now you have proof, say, Bia, Uko Chrome, they try to stone you, or pictures, all these factors. Bush moon, go swimming.
All these fantastic stories.
Yeah, no, some people truly do face sad man, but some people face it. But some of the ones I've heard, it seems like a lot of them seem fabricated because they are not able to prove as more canon. Obi be catch me na yet to born they stoned him. I'm saying, okay, do you have anything? There be, and I'm saying it's scarce. There be, look it clean. Also see a stone you, right? So if even I don't believe
you are born to say Stephen, also to me the mark big say your bomb is say.
Yeah, and normally those things so the media will pick it up in your home country. We should have all these clippings because idea we will not go unnoticed.
Unreported. Because I'm saying LGBTQ for no could be officer, say Ashoma, say they or attack or more closely office. No, all those workers in there, they can easily file for asylum.
Possibly, I didn't follow some news, but I'm not too sure.
From the office, media,
yeah, absolutely. It's if you have those type of proof and you can prove to the U.S. government that your life is at risk and that you have fear of persecution or future persecution, and these people are, people that cannot be controlled by the government, then yes, somebody are going to asylum. But only proof, it's a little bit difficult. Of course, you can still get it. If it's a very true story, now you have a very strong declaration over, affidavit, detailing your story, but at least there should be some proof somewhere. Say, as my old canon.
Because my test stories be say boys in be on your gay crowd to a coffee boy be no nature picture. Now I share that they are two also you gay. Massive very to say okay, fantastic stories and go for girls be in your gay crowd would say hey you're a lesbian. And
right?
Much that because someone will say US government now are more lenient.
And green card in the world. And if it's a true story, I know that they'll sympathize with you and they'll protect you because that's what asylum is all about, opening up people who fear persecution, making sure that they are protected from being deported back into their home country. Maybe other persecution can be carried out. But if it's true story, they'll help you out. But if
Mommy, the cancer may your ban and Mema Ghana say mass minority, okay, you don't such a member, but you are still marginalized somehow. Say be a time and he say or bar and I be say no, they're likely say.
Be a time when he said, so no. You see, with asylum, the harm has to be individualized. It's a targeted harm at you if you are pokia. Once you say, black, women, and no. It's a minority group. Not just say you belong to a certain minority group. More outstanding characteristics, and you fear for your life based on persecution and move facing.
It's a be a trokoshi girls asking by, then you can say that targeting. Okay.
Yes.
So council, my phone call our then another part of it now. Okay, say nipa na worry or it's easy. Worry or Ghana, you recognize ya worry or Ghana and there it's recognized everywhere. Let's just say Koko will not be recognized because it's not a full blown even though it will not be recognized.
There be and the customary, Koko and yet it's as it says, it's just a preparatory stage in a marriage contract. As one will say more baby but then so I believe say with Koko no absolutely not any at all. It's a fiance and I say just dating.
My around the app, mommy. Basic mistakes and call for you because they all can say will be specialized job. It's in what is some more immigration law no. Mona was a more handle. Any so obiya attempt to say on one kasa make or file even normal visa application quite dealing no because all my immigration lawyer should because my home call be brain my mistake take. For instance, minimum be our call embassy. Yes, you can say or you're single. You share any Facebook. Is it true say they say embassy for no almost better check your Facebook handles? Because I've seen on visa forms they be say almost
they store your social
media handle.
Correct. You are very correct. In fact, if you let me start by saying that U.S. immigration law, according to the Government Accountability Office, and only a federal agency that provides fact-based, non-partisan information to Congress for U.S. It says, say, almost the report by U.S. immigration law is the second most complex area of law in the U.S. Second to tax law. Tax law, your first. U.S. immigration law, the second. Justice Breyer, Supreme Court, on also can you say U.S. immigration law a complex. Now it blows my mind when Ghanaians think that Madam every Ghanaian believes he's a lawyer. Now, if you crowd want to, the way they behave to say almost file one application now. Luckily, they want to advise other people, tell them, yeah,
they give visa lottery, no be officer or more
And you see, what I tell people is that even a lawyer, if you're licensed as a lawyer in Ghana, you cannot handle U.S. immigration law because a U.S. law, an unauthorized practice of law. And U.S. law, even cases going before the U.S. embassy, can only be handled by U.S. licensed attorneys who are immigration attorneys, not even Ghanaian attorneys.
Because Ghanaian lawyer,
absolutely, because Ghana law and a U.S. laws and
in the U.S. embassy, they don't apply Ghana law there. Because America,
America, even though they recognize Ghana law, they do not apply. Because they will quote you on the Immigration and Nationality Act of the U.S. basis of refusal, basis of inadmissibility. That's the laws. They use the U.S. laws because, of course, you're trying to come into the U.S. Of course, they recognize Ghana laws, but they don't apply those Ghana laws substantively. Cases no more. Now, forms now. I had a consultation recently. You'll say, or fill form no. Send you can or take case single or your mistake. And then what I tell them is that look, how are they supposed to know where there a genuine mistake, where there your honest mistake, where there a negligent? The art to the mind's construction, who will be any Shakespeare kind. So they put you all, you've lied, and so you are inadmissible due to misrepresentation. And we are section 212 of the INA, 212A6CI. Wow, they cannot tell if a honest mistake. Once you have that misrepresentation bar, you are permanently barred from the US. Go for messaging me that I apply 7 times, 10 times, they deny me because you have a bar. Until you waive that bar.
I don't know said they are banning or said ban done so. I don't know.
Because almost not them or mama, they know what they call, and then they keep changing the information, messing things up, and they have all the and there's a way we can pull up or records from the US.
Yeah, man, say what 10 years a crown alcohol,
yeah, absolutely. Some of the inconsistencies, they think so. My sister my passport into me a different way. You're just how because until you file a waiver, you will never be allowed to come back into the US. US area we need Facebook and so on. And see all that.
Which are very interesting. When you on Facebook, Empire State building in your bathroom,
New York, and near Batum.
It's very interesting, Pastor Waka, because these are simple mistakes that people make. But how can be said just a filing waiver and everything?
Waiver, no. So there's more waivers for inadmissibility. So there are many grounds of BBF inadmissibility. There are different grounds of inadmissibility. There were criminal grounds. It is a what
inadmissibility. They say I'm obvious and I am
okay. So inadmissibility nature say. So according to the Immigration and Nationality Act, Obia or person by US, whether through an immigrant visa or non-immigrant visa, you have to be admissible.
Okay.
That's the law. You just have to be admissible. Just say be anyway still quite so beba. And as be anyway still quite say bema we ra or mining. Yes, into inadmissibility grounds here a number health grounds. In fact, initially age crowd was a ground of inadmissibility. But it's omejai. But currently no tuberculosis and even COVID, you're supposed to be immunized based on health. If you don't have
HIV, so first no HIV is it still
absolutely there? Because they want to protect the people in the US. Imagine
say US no HIV for those so check Ghana HIV for.
Say there HIV you can still come. Initially it was a ground of inadmissibility under health, but omejai. So, for example, what tuberculosis, I am my own remove because Walmart, and then people will catch the disease. So, it's supposed to protect people in the US. We have criminal grounds of inadmissibility. We have misrepresentation grounds of inadmissibility, fraud grounds of inadmissibility, public charge grounds of public charge.
When you are some criminal case, you charge at all so that won't me ma.
There be public charge nature say. By US, I know it sounds like that, but by US, you're going to become a burden on the US government. You're going to be, living on the public dime and a public person. Just this one stamps. Correct. Oh, maybe because you put stamps, maybe Medicaid, maybe housing benefits, they don't want that. So if you're coming here, no, you shouldn't be inadmissible based on public charges. You should be able to take care of yourself. I saw show who hospital because and yes, I know now you start doing it unauthorized work and that's all these grounds are grounds of inadmissibility. Some of the grounds of inadmissibility, temporary. Okay. So, for example, inadmissible based on 3-year bar. Not just say you stayed more than 180 days, overstayed your visa more than 180 days. After 3 years, that bar is lifted.
Okay. Visa.
Yes. However, permanent grounds will be a misrepresentation. Not just a way making willful misrepresentation to an immigration officer. Exactly. In order to procure a US immigration benefit. That is all Preparatory. DB lottery cross. See, my worry, me won't worry. My catch so worry. I DB lottery. It took yes, sir, and they find out. And I said, what could take a single when you're married? You are permanently barred based on INA 212A6CI misrepresentation. In order to overcome that misrepresentation, the Attorney General has the right to waive grounds of misrepresentation of inadmissibility. Waiver on any different waiver. So there are waivers for immigrant visas. There are waivers for non-immigrant visas. Non-immigrant visas B2 no. Haranka waiver any different Haranka waiver no. Immigrant type of visa, 601 hardship type of waiver. You have to have a qualifying relative and say complicated, so you need to file a waiver. Once you file a waiver to overcome the grounds of inadmissibility, they will allow you to come in.
Okay. And a ban they can range between like 3 years and 10 years.
10 years. And they do also a permanent bar. There's also a permanent bar.
I ask them meaning Ghana immigration law whether we have all these things, woman, because they said they're China for the and I'm saying promote to me cover Lebanese for Syria for America for law, no immigration law near watertight.
Very tight. Yeah. And we say gatekeeping mechanism near typically tight because many people want to come and live the American dream. They don't regulate it heavily as so they try to keep it very close and then they make sure that people that come in very regulated and
who didn't draw on a visa form that can result in a ban from 3 years to 10 years or even permanent.
I think it doesn't result in a 3-year, 10-year ban. It no result in a misrepresentation.
Okay.
If you are not caught. So if you actually obtain benefits fee in Trona with the bar is known as the fraud bar.
Okay.
So when you benefit normal chill say udiatra is known as misrepresentation bar and none permanent
Okay.
And what will happen is that say if you're caught maybe I will do CBP now visa now be do her now who say I said lady we cry or you lie that they can put you in something known as expedited removal until your mom will remove cry cancel 5 years near deportal. You go back. I get it all the time too.
And so deporting for and then remove deporting for
airport for what crowd bag you didn't even land in the US. You better wako. And then it's known as expedited removal until just say in Tema you are removed. Because normally,
Lord, you are aware said and saying recent maybe in a year in the past year. My Ghana sada.
Oh yes, almost from it that I get all the time. They do that. So normally, no. So far as within the US, no, you're not entitled. You don't have right to counsel.
Okay.
There's right to counsel. I believe this is the Fifth Amendment. You know, everybody has a right to fair trial, counsel, all that. Now, and no, if you are within the jurisdiction of the US, not just say before they have to take you to immigration court. They give you your day in court. And so you need the opportunity to respond, defend yourself. But they can put you in expedited removal. Yes.
So what do US soil so?
But what they say is that you are still at a port of entry. Airports you see, also Uber USA, there's a whole gate. Uber officers need to cross it, you are not in the US technically. It's in a port of entry. So far as you are now being inspected, if you are not admitted, you are not admitted in the US. You have to be inspected and admitted. Now what crosses our gate, then you know that hooray.
But I know there's no fair because it will be called plane more. Now even US airspace. Akolano gains US citizenship because it's still construed that is a part of the airspace of the US.
Yeah.
Airport there, I must say, and yet on the soil of US until you made an alcohol without giving the person counsel.
So when you say laws needed, they exactly, and almost trying very narrowly to favor what needs to be done. That's it. Once you come to the airport, you have to be admitted and say to me, say we
yeah, time no so but okay Medicaid as him. I know say Ghana for no be so yes ko US no makwa yes ko ye bia of course no apply for Medicaid. Meanwhile onye US ni untu an taxes ho. Matese and say na America for no ka say yes Ghana for ni because yes sign because ba earlier ebe enjoy Medicaid na bi omo san call ye no mo pese omo san ba omo do airport no and yes san bo mo obetimi a kire sa ade nim. So we take advantage of US be our beje food stamps na Medicaid ni ade no. If you cry the bewo no wasan dwane akwache Ghana ko de
free. Yes, I've done a lot of videos on this. So B2 visa no exactly for ba ebia oba US onim so onyem onka so onyem oba bia onyem 6 months or obesha da maybe 7 months but oba kata na waba oba no akọ hospital no akọ and say that they don't have money and then the government will sponsor beds when you do that they will take the information. If some of the hospitals don't bother, but hospitals they've been instructed to take the information back to the US embassy, so they'll forward the list. It's if you go back to the US embassy for another visa, they'll tell you a public charge, so you'll be inadmissible due to public charge reasons. And now I said it could even be due to fraud or misrepresentation based on what you told them. What will also happen is that sometimes if you have a 5-year visa and you say over year 2020 visa no expires 2025, you have from 2020 to 2025. 2022 you come back again to the US. You don't go back to the embassy because you already have a visa, right?
Exactly.
If they do port of entry now, they can put you in something known as secondary inspection. Near visa will say as a buy now no catch and say oba wedding but oba your records show say oba can you pull up your receipt? Exactly. Think of omo catch me on because if our receipt say one kasa you paid all the hospital bills, bruh. So if you're able to pull up those receipts, then they'll let you in. If you're not, they can put you in expedited removal and
cancel. Go back to send Ghana.
Yes. Ghana near cancel.
If you
also cry body flight, United Airline or Delta, they'll tell you unfortunately you've been blacklisted. I had a lady call me or say
from Ghana Airport.
Ghana Airport, Kotoka. So yanchi wo US embassy, bit me actually wo airport. Yanchi wo airport or Ghana kotuka, bit me actually wo port of entry. You know, so it depends. You can or say, you know, she was coming with her baby, need a US citizen, or do airport, you know, or border flights. You know, she's been blacklisted. Don't see them. So she had to leave, and she was so disturbed because what were packing and shit on it.
Oh yeah, Pamu, I was a shit.
Me say so.
Maybe no crown you was a shit. Sister, we pa.
They say, well, packing the baby out, and need that so. No, I basa, and then so because Consultation, I went through everything. I'm so okay. Well, but no US citizen, no. More, you know how you know what happened. No, so moment you actually, I'm so okay. So that's probably the reason. Public charge. You've been black. Unfortunately, hospital they do didn't call. Some of the hospitals they are so overwhelmed they don't bother to. Almost for didn't call. But if you are almost showing your number reported, they report all of it back. And you know you've been blacklisted. It's your call back normal cancel. Yeah, so you have to normally try to make sure so bet you Sikano back and then do what you need to do. Yeah, before you are let back. But some people get away with it. Yes, a bit to me, be wow, but you never know.
Okay, until I run the abnormal common mistakes now for you and fair no see. Common mistakes there go for you.
Well,
when you can misrepresentation, we didn't throw a visa form, no, so near the whole Friday, and also when you can know that, I think I know a very important point.
And in fact, the thing is that if you are crying, yes, or didn't throw question no one tears here. But as I said, Obi any whole baby show, Timasha, what tears here, and I said that didn't throw. That's why it's important to make sure that at the you have somebody, you know, who understands US immigration law between mama because so one said that what said that is going to be held against you. And now one of the common mistakes, social media to sell clients to say
exactly.
You know social media. Obi or her B2 visa. No, I got you on Facebook also. I'm not coming back to Ghana. You know, who could do port of entry now by some divine or design, almost pull it up. No, almost say, you know, they see what you've been writing, and I say, Bia, what could you B2 visa? Or deliver or US now they are better to Facebook say, hey, thank God for safe delivery, Oklahoma or whatever. All these things, and I say people are worry. You claim you're married in the US, right? Nah, maybe you're married to an American person. Nah, if I say oh Ghana any husband, be so what Ghana. Now only need to trap pictures, say so that's my husband. I miss my husband. Meanwhile, I don't go pull up a record. So husband is to see a white person, you know. So that's a problem. Into social media, it's you know a BBS for share. And now to send American so no. Or whatever information you've ever provided to the US embassy, you have to make sure say you're consistent. If that so let me tell you, if you are sometimes DB lottery, you know. Before we break come with DB lottery, we work on those things as well. Now, if you are almost the DB lottery about fire money kunu later. Time no file DB lottery or Ghana no. Almost in for almost so when our worry and sometimes cry almost the different things. If you ever go, oh mommy di abuna brewer, me why be mommy and casa di mommy pokia. So when they come, maybe 10 years ago, so they found connection mommy na mommy your Troy. I'm like, no, you cannot move ahead without pulling up those records because you can't have Abna Brewer and Mami Poki as your mother, different people, date of birth different, oh papa doing different. So you have to pull up all the records of your immigration records now. Said there's a discrepancy and you need to be able to explain the date of birth, what happened. So what happens is that
this connection man be a fellow DV visa lottery ma
yeah, very important. You have to do it yourself as much as possible. One case out here because my didn't know Papa Dean, and they will date or better, and so many other things. And now what will happen is that Obi or her on fat lawyer or no besa fele not their co-immigration say na me as soon as they pick up those information, they cannot unsee them and you cannot undo it. Forever you are doomed.
These
problems. Some of these were absolutely
on the visa application. I said
different
information. 10 years, 20 years later, no, different names now they.
different names, different dates of birth. In fact, I had a recent one. Guy no buy no so or the DV lottery buy I'm so okay or so person I'm so okay good. DV lottery no why the boy we also connection man I'm so okay good. Before we move on, I say me pull up records. You pull up records, you know. On Kaipo say yes, so I worry.
Wow.
He hadn't even divorced from the set person, no, so I worry. It will be filing new one. I can Rebecca just say deny because what worry jai. Kofani pare bra wo so nim ni pa. How do you
proper worry be yen krata na mokoye?
Exactly. Because we say normally no our worry be home the din keke share so what worry just to show say for some reason I don't know why people feel say DV lot, you know, cause what worry and they be ma when I you know that's what happens. So it's a whole lot of these issues since you have to sort those problems out and so we move ahead. But it been now with them almost feeling near ma on the court. By the time the government gets hold of that document, you are dead because answer they will let go no only America for.
Not just only name one small mistake. Why I send Calber file more bushia for but what be out to me file man because crack and I say
one casa dear crowd cannot move on. I say one casa
so would they give a rumor or a green card.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. But you see, what happens is that the DV lottery people know what happens is almost person call to citizenship. So normally at the citizenship stage, what I tell them is that when you're 10-year green card through DV lottery, but you want to go to you want to become a US citizen, you have to tell them the truth. If you tell them the truth, there's a possibility, say, they will revoke a green card and tell you we're not properly lawfully adjusted. No matter bet me to deportation, and they walk back to Ghana.
Oh boy. Just because who didn't draw a paper, so now you mistake, you know.
DB lottery, you know, almost interpreting a very strict liability. DB lottery, when it comes to say what worry won't, but they'll tell you if you tell lies, you're disqualified. In there can DB lottery games anymore. Who's a lottery? You know, the very nature of a lottery, you say, listing you're disqualified because a game of chance. You have to make sure you play by the rules. It's even if you get the green card, obi also what happens is that DV lottery stage, no more kase unimba, o kase womba ye mfa DV lottery name. I don't know why they tell people that. DV lottery stage, omo nyo, obi or classic. So we want to oba be apply for citizenship or so if them person list them in ban because of me person form. It's too late. If you list them, there's a possibility that they're going to revoke one castle card and put you in deportation, deport you on banning someone. You know, so it's just a whole.
I think one of these is another session on just DV visa lottery because any pank of phone manipulate you or more Ghana and easy. Be brave. And it's very instructive. As some way how kind of too many say, oh file no or siminimba, be brave or siminimba. Because most of the time, no, omo filing no one can sample na into when you no or say me de me ma beguso me kofa me maba. It's late. You can't do anything about it.
Because by the time I will move on, they will always pull up the old records. Say even from the Ghana stage, US Embassy stage, pull up everything you filed with immigration. No matter you said you didn't have a child. No matter date. So this was 2012. But if your house or firstborn you want 2010, I didn't want listing. Then it becomes a big problem. Denied misrepresentation bar becomes very difficult.
Wow, this is serious. You better another session on that. Just say, and our canon immigration law is one of the most difficult areas of law in US. Meant now them now one casa won't coffee visa form.
If let me tell you, another this story just came to my mind. Me I think it was 2 months ago, and clients we book here, and then we were talking. What happened was that ne mama ne brother was US ha no Ghana and almost filing man and onya ne krata. This was under the F2B category because now you're unmarried child son of a green card holder. Almost ye bibia man onya ne immigrant visa right before oba be bano and no ko worry no and so it seems onya visa no November. Unya visa na ebe ma envelope bibia o me beka se membie so
okay
US immigration interest ye beka se membie so do airport fa my officer no what the officer na
any F2B for no yes membie so
obia you get the application because normally they don't issue the green cards in Ghana. Ube do her then they mail it to you.
Oh, okay.
It's not envelope. He said, maybe so if you cannot follow instructions, you'll be in trouble. Maybe so to be do her now. The more officer near you be amount. It ever seems on your visa no bear November and na December. As all baby, you know, all baby bogano and a worry the sweetheart.
Yeah, man, so because okay, one year, I'll peg everyone to the
Sawako. It's a worry no, na January or buy. Or buy 1 or 2 years on the Musa no so if they may filing mamma urino and on what them or say say law you me a champion lawyer or there Mrs. There's a file me green card me Jessica and not them not failing man urine or failing man urine or one ice calling is when your ice here immigration and customs enforcement no much think of for deport your mono so when your ice call in and no nya pe onim sa samato. The guy was confused and worried. And now, it's your buy, and I review BB, and I'm say, okay. You came under the F2B category. F2B category, no. And you can say, Obe worry and sana, you are admitted and inspected. As soon as you get married, everything is revoked.
I know. Oh, yeah. I mean, go for him, Sadia, way you.
If the time no worry, you know, the date was before the date he was inspected. And under F2B, we are unmarried Sam. It's a new kind of where you have to wait until you come in, get your green card. Then you. It's unfortunately date of marriage. You know, also so maybe so. When did you get married?
Exactly.
Almost date, it was before. His green card is going to be revoked. He's going to be. It's normally if it's within 5 years on Bema green card, there's something known as rescission. Rescission. They can rescind a green card. No, if it's more than 5 years, somebody may issue NTA notice to appear, come to court, defend yourself. You put you in deportation, and there's nothing you can do. Then you have to try to see if you can file a waiver. He's going to spend $15,000, like thousands of dollars. And I may say, you see, like some of the things, so you can do them all, but exactly. I say we can salvage it, but we spend a lot of time and money just trying to work it out because we can probably file waivers. You know, there's some type of waivers, or different type of waivers are with me filing based on what you qualify for the idea, just to get your case, you know, out of court.
It's a big because obey you cry. Why were in November? Why by January? I don't going to me cry and consummating properly. Be I enjoy. Now we're Java back. What's one about the young crat at home problem?
Double wahala. Yeah, it's some of the some of the mistakes.
I have to be no name conditions. A woman say, I'm married, a son, a child of a
I don't know. Some of these things don't say a very technical legal near of sure the conditions. All these things, no rules for him. All of them rules from which you least mistake, they'll tell you it's revoked. Because one casano, they'll tell you, permission. You know, it's not your right. You're a foreign, Ghana. I mean, any foreigner, aliens. You're a foreigner. That's how remember like it's normal consider according to their laws. If you go and do any small mistake, they have the right to cancel it. Say, okay. And there's nothing you can do, you know. Some of the things, so some of the mistakes, so I feel so hurt, you know, because I'm like, sometimes we'll save you money, you know, and then it becomes a problem.
Okay. But one best call another issue by the best had say another time. I heard that our no there no into detail because was I a lawyer or Ghana into Ghana law now name US so law so I can't so look at Serbia Nipana worry different jurisdictions for her, but you be where they know US and you be where they know Ghana. Some of those things we'll look at that, and then you better your bonnet a DV visa lottery because omu baby another session of October, and also unconformable cockets now why mistakes here okay, you know, as I see they can hear education no money so that they will know the right thing. For lawyer and office, so my direction to office no more. File man because it's terrible. So be first have mistake with me abandono.
Oh, do you want my phone number?
Yes.
And
phone number.
Okay.
Office,
yeah. Okay. 001-802-780 0564. But all come your website is akpokulaw.com. Wait me pull up our phone number. And we're located in Northern Virginia, Manassas, Virginia, but immigration is federal law. I represent clients in all 50 states. Because it's not just a immigration law, no, the same in New York, the same in Oklahoma, the same everywhere. So we can represent in all 50 states.
Okay. It's sample number no maybe 001
802
802
780
780
0564.
0564. Nti abusia for lawyer number no. Lawyer Akua Ohene Twene Aboaje. And Akua. Lawyer that's a pa for you to sacrifice your time for us and easy. And now what bing immigration law, what bing. And
So much
you have to take it wow bing. What see adwuma na wo ye na se wa bing.
Thank you so
So
much.
be be hu na oboa na no ye because it's so sad say obi to me nya kwan kwa abrocha it to me changing if you for nyina life and obetena ho ye simple mistake to say the ye can now asay your life so to the ebe ya enti no obi amra ho na otumi aye sala mama na wase
thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I was a lawyer near twetwe nkoma na akua ba ne din pa ye akua wo hene twene aboaje nti every Saturday bia be discussion with lawyer na when you abucha church some of these things see unimu a ene say obusa fo unimu a oyira but unimu na obusa so a onyira what you say nti no obusa de bia no you are safe. Your family vim lady afia pokua da wasi bebre.